Friday afternoon. You know, the Print Factory is here with my boy Big T in the house. Hit the like button on the video here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not subscribed already. Big T, got some main slate football to talk about. I know you're just coming in on back-to-back shows off the college show. I've been sitting here waiting, just listening to some music, fucking tweeting out a storm, just waiting for your ass to show up.
Tweeting out a storm. I like that.
Tweeting.
You love tweeting now.
Now that I got the hang of it, I kind of you showed me the way a little bit. You showed me the way. Like you just kind of always
the tweeting it's fun. It's fun getting in there and mixing it up a little bit with some tweets.
Yeah, mixing it up with the people a little bit. You get a little different responses on your tweets. It's been interesting to say the least the last couple of days. So yeah, what are you gonna do? This is a sports show though, so we'll try to keep it to that on this show today. But how you doing here? You feeling good?
Feeling good. Besides my friggin' Bengals again blowing a game last night. I don't think I've ever had a season where I think a team is as good as I think they are that just keeps losing games. They are so good. They just continue to not get to the finish line. And I know everyone calls me a homer, but I still believe that they're a really good team. I don't care what happened. I'm stubborn and I'm sticking to it.
Well, I believe that you're a homer. I also believe that they did cover. We hit the over. We were right on a lot of things.
They should have freaking won, though. They should have freaking won the football game. And
think about this: with like 4 minutes left in the third quarter, or 5 minutes left in the third quarter, they were up 21-7.
Yeah, and they had the ball. They were dominating. But there's always one play. As a Bengals fan, you always know. There's always one freaking play that swings it. Last night, Chase had an awesome game, but he fumbled. You knew right away when he fumbled. You're just like, here we go again. We're going to find a way to blow this game once again. And then there it comes. The good news is.
I don't think that was even the one play.
I was arguing earlier. So all the Bengals fans say, wouldn't you go to OT? I say, they weren't even going to go to OT. They were going to finish 30 seconds left. And they butchered the first half play. I could go off about this forever. So I'm yelling at the TV in the first half because they're calling timeouts with 44 seconds left. They're on the 12-yard line. I'm like, what are we doing, Cincinnati? And they gave it back, and Baltimore didn't end up scoring. But they got
lucky. Yeah, they got lucky.
It made no sense to me. Like, what in the world are we doing? And then they did this. So say they kick it. There's still 30 seconds left, and Tucker can kick from 50. Like, maybe it does go to over. It's not why they won or lost anyways. Like, just finish the freaking game.
I don't think the fumble was the turning point.
Oh, it was
I think the turning point, and I think the moments that we look back on and say, yep, those were the games, were when they went for it on fourth down and they decided on one of the plays on third and fourth down to throw the ball 20+ yards down the field, just over the top. Every single the third and 2, fourth and 2, and you decide to throw it 20+ yards down the field. I get why they
did Burton too. At least throw it to Chase.
I get why they did it. He knew he had a matchup, and his guy, I
don't get why he didn't. Never throw it deep on 4th and 1.
It's just like he did it 3 different times.
Yeah.
Like 3 different times. That is what lost them the game because
he better be ass naked wide open and you
wide open. Because Tony, if they get those fourth downs, they probably drive down and score, and they're winning by too much for the Ravens to overcome. But that's the thing with these good teams. The Ravens are a good team, and if you let them stay in the game long enough, they're gonna come back. Like, that's just what's going to happen. So
the take I have too that no one agrees with, I'm fine being on an island. No, I think their defense is better than people think. I said it yesterday. They were doing good, but then it starts snowballing. It snowballs. Once it snowballs, like anyone, Lamar's going to snowball. I'll stick by it too. I truly trust my numbers, and my numbers tell me their defense is better than people think. And their schedule's going to get easier. So mark my words, like 5 or 6 weeks from now, people are going to be like, oh, man, this defense is starting to play a little better. And it's going to be like the Eagles last year where I was way ahead of everyone saying, my numbers are saying this is the worst defense in football. and it started to snowball. And I think I'm not saying the Bengals is like a top D. I'm not saying that. But I think the Ravens D, like Lamar to win with that defense is more impressive to me than what the Bengals did. I'll give Lamar credit.
Yeah.
That defense Baltimore's playing with is horrendous.
They're not good.
They're having mishaps all over the field. That's twice the Bengals have whooped their ass. And they won both games because Lamar moves the ball. The Ravens defense is worse than the Bengals defense.
The Ravens defense is really bad. I tried to tell you yesterday when I was talking about how like Bo Nix had opportunities to score on that Ravens defense. It wasn't a domination.
Where's
and
ODB?
You were like,
Bo Nix, we need our ODB.
Oh God, we're bringing Bo Nix back in the comment. But I'm just saying, like, Joe Burrow is gonna have success, and that's the one thing too I will say about the Ravens. When they get to the playoffs, they don't want to play a team like the Bengals in the first go around that they have.
No one wants to play the Bengals. No way.
They especially and the Ravens, just those division games are tough as hell. Those I talked about it. That division specifically, they just all play each other tough. I don't think they want to see anyone in that division. Even though they're the best team in the division, I don't think they want to see anyone in that division. It
might be the three of the best teams in the AFC too. The AFC sucks.
It might be. Yeah, they might be. I mean, the Chiefs are definitely in the combo, but obviously. But yeah, outside of them, they might have the other three best teams. So
man, it's tough. It's tough as a Bengals guy.
You'll get over it. You'll get over it.
It hurts me because like I just think they're a really good team, and I know everyone keeps making fun of me about it, but I still really believe that they can win the Super Bowl.
Well, how about this? Like, I had this discussion actually in the Run Pure Sports. So someone asked me, who right now, just right now, top 5 quarterbacks, who are you taking? And I was told that you can't put winning in the conversation, just like quarterbacks, which is another conversation that I would like to have at one point, because I don't know why winning isn't entailed in the conversation, because I want a quarterback who actually wins big games too. But top 5 quarterbacks right now, Tony, who are you taking? Like, you got a list here? Top 5?
Like what, for this year or for?
Yeah, right now, top 5 quarterbacks. Who's playing the best for you?
Who's playing the best? Let me pull up the names.
So I'll give you my list while you figure it out. My list was Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, Joe Burrow, and Matthew Stafford. That was my 5.
Oh my God, Matthew Stafford! You just made me want to puke in my mouth.
Well, just so you know, I contemplated him and Baker Mayfield because both those guys get no respect, and both of those guys are playing really well. And on top of it, too,
where's your boy Jaden?
So I didn't put Jaden in the conversation because I just felt like a rookie. I'm not going there. I'm not putting that much hype on him. I think he's top probably 10. You could put him in the top 5. I think he's going to be a top 5 player. I thought you were going to bring up, I didn't put Jordan Love in the top 5, and he's someone who I think will be a top 5 quarterback. But to this point, I do not think he's played well enough to be a top 5 quarterback. Jaden, you could make the case that I left off, and maybe he should be there. But I don't know. I feel good about my 5. Matthew Stafford's a really fucking good quarterback. He's a really solid quarterback, and I feel like he doesn't get much respect. He's played a lot of the year without both of his studs at receiver. Baker Mayfield's played really well. I don't know. Justin Herbert's another guy I think you could throw in the conversation. But those were my 5. And I went back and forth on Baker and Stafford. Who you got?
I just looked through the whole list because I wanted to make sure I wasn't like forgetting someone.
Yeah.
I think the first 4 is like
easy,
dead obvious.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's 5, 6 that would be like tougher if you're doing like after the first. I think the first 4 is very easy. Do you have the first 4 the same way I do?
Well, maybe not the same exact list. I would go.
What do you got?
Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar would be my 4.
Josh Allen, Lamar.
I think those 4 are somewhat interchangeable, though.
So we're talking about right now. So you'd put Lamar Jackson behind Joe Burrow, even though he has beat Joe Burrow this year both times.
I mean, Burrow, I think Burrow's been unbelievable. Also, I'm not
Oh, he
putting
has been.
most of their lot, like they lost to Washington. It wasn't Burrow's fault. These 2 games, I don't think were Burrow. I'm not putting the losses, just like when LeBron was losing finals, I wasn't blaming him for losing those. Like
I don't want to sit here and defend Baltimore because I can't stand their fans, all of you. All right. I can't stand all of you Baltimore Ravens fans, especially when you're on Twitter. But they did beat Washington pretty good. Joe Burrow lost to Washington pretty good. They did beat Joe
he had
Burrow
a
both
perfect game. They didn't
times.
even punt and he lost.
I'm just saying though, I'm trying to not be biased with my takes here. And what I've seen, we're talking this year. I can't put Joe Burrow. Lamar has been the best at the actual quarterback position I've ever seen him play. I think to this point or to this year, he's been one of the best athletes we've ever seen play quarterback, but not the best quarterback. I think this year he's turning into more of a really good quarterback. Is he the best? No, but I think he's turning into a really good quarterback who is also still an amazing athlete, right? That's what we always shit on Lamar for, was like he can't throw or he struggles to throw to the outside, whatever it is. And I think this year he's shown that he's gotten a lot better in the areas that we've criticized him for. So I want to give him his props. That's why I put him ahead of Burrow. That's just me personally, but you're a homer, so I'll give you the pass.
I mean, Burrow's been better than him in these games. He just has been. He threw for 900 yards and lost twice.
You don't put winning into the conversation.
Because it's not his fault. Like, it's not the reason they lost. Like he threw for 900 yards.
You either put winning into the conversation or you don't. Don't give me like he was great, but he lost. I can give you Lamar was great.
No.
Like if Lamar lost one of those games, I could still be like, well, Lamar was really good. You know
Lamar
what I mean?
Lamar, and these 4, I don't even need to waste time on, because these 4 are clearly the 4. But
so who's your fifth? Who's your fifth?
So 5, 6, 7, I would definitely have Herbert, Jaden, Stroud would be my 5, 6, 7.
Herbert, Jaden, Stroud. Okay, so you got CJ Stroud in there. You got CJ Stroud in there, really? This year?
He stunk this year, but I still think it's part of it is like if freaking Jamar Chase was out, like Nico's out, Burrow would look significantly worse without Chase. Like Nico's been out, so
he hasn't had T a lot of the games, and he's
got a twat. We already talked about this. He's got a
twat. I'm just saying, like that plays a difference. I don't know.
He can freaking take his bag and go home wherever he wants. Like, get out of
here. If I was the Bengals, I'd literally be like, just go.
Yeah, get out of here. Get your ass out of here. We'll pay for someone else. Yeah.
I'm hearing JSU, but I'm seeing Khabib. Yeah, hey, there you go. Love Khabib. Great wrestler. 2 terrible defenses. Well, there you go. I mean, I think he's talking about Baltimore and Cincy, but I could be wrong.
I mean, both those games were fun to watch, though. You take the results out. I mean, those were good. Those were good football games.
I was annoyed because I wanted OT in that game. I didn't think it was going to happen because I think they left too much time on the. I think they left too much time on the clock, and I think they would have gotten a field goal. Honestly, Tony, I think.
Yeah, I think they would have too. There's 30 seconds, and everyone's Cincinnati's like, oh, they would have gone to over. Oh, what do you think overtime? Win the flip. I'm like, it's not goal. Why do people think 30 seconds is quick? Like, that's an eternity with timeouts.
Especially because they had timeouts, right? Baltimore had timeouts left.
At least 2.
Multiple timeouts left. I don't know if it was 2 or 3, but I know it was either 2 or 3. So that's a ton of time.
Try to win the damn game. And then if they make it, I hate being results oriented. Like if they make it, everyone's like, great decision. You miss it. Like in the ref. I mean, I am not blaming the refs. I want this to be clear. They should have won. And I agree with you too, that those 4th down, 3rd down calls.
Yeah.
But the Bengals do get no calls when it matters. It's just the truth. Like, it's a fact. It's a proven fact. But they should have won.
If that was Mahomes, he gets the call. 100%.
And it was multiple face masks where you get – and part – we were talking about this at lunch too. It sucks because my favorite quarterback is Burrow, and he never flops. And my favorite basketball player is Jokic, and he never flops. And neither one of them get calls. And it's because they don't flop. You got to flop more.
I got a question. So I was listening to Ryan Fitzpatrick after the game, and he said the Mike Gesicki holding that didn't get called, which was the same play as the face mask you're talking about. He said because he was looking the opposite way, even though the ball was still in the pocket, they shouldn't have called. That was the right thing not to call that play.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? That like he's not involved? Because you know how many times I see penalties called where a guy is.
If the quarterback's not looking that direction.
Yeah, but this is my point. You know how many times I've seen penalty flags fly in for stuff that doesn't affect the play at all, like literally nothing to do with the play.
And you don't know when the play will break down or something. All of a sudden he rolls out and that hold doesn't. But I mean, I get it. I don't even want it to sound like I'm blaming the refs because I'm not. They should have won anyways. But it's still annoying when the dude. And then you see that clip where there's 3 face masks. The lineman's getting drugged down. The other one's on there. And it's like, come on. Like, it's a quarterback. Every quarterback should get a call.
Nothing actually, though, is worse than when that Chiefs right tackle just jumps every single time before the snap of the ball. What's his name? That Taylor. Remember that? Was it against Baltimore or was it against the Bengals?
It was the first game,
He jumped off. He jumped early fucking 10 different times, and they didn't call in that game. That was bullshit. That was worse than anything.
Got this fucked the other way too. Like both Chiefs games in the playoffs ended because of a Mahomes late hit and all. It's just they've run really bad with those end of game. And just this year, who was it this year where we got the PI that was a PI, but like other games you see and they don't call it. Like it was a bang. It was 4th and like 30 or something, and they get a PI again. I think it was the Chiefs game again.
It was a Chiefs game. Was it?
Or it's like 4th and 30, and they call a little PI for 2 seconds. He got there like 2 seconds early.
They all NFL just has those teams. Like, yeah, it was the Brady Pats. They got all the calls, and now it's the Chiefs and Mahomes. Like they get the calls. You know what I mean? But that's to a bigger point.
Like Minnesota always gets screwed too. There's some teams that just run bad with the officials.
But this is to the point, though, Tony, where like sometimes you just got to go for it. And at least the Bengals said, hey, listen, we don't have a lot of wins. This team, they're at home. We're just going to go for it. We're going for it on 4th and short. We're going for it for 2. And if we lose, we lose. But we're going to lose trying to win. And I can at least respect that, you know, whether it's right or wrong. I kind of liked it.
I didn't mind the 2 at all. Like that. That was the least of my worries.
Yeah. I was more pissed about the 4th down decision-making of Joe Burrow.
You should never throw it. Rodgers always does that bullshit, too, where it's 4th and 1 and he throws a 40-yard pass. It's like...
Yeah. And then he just gets pissed off because it was like, dude, it was that close, but you didn't get it. Like,
that's
it's your fault.
Football games. Like,
that's why Brady was so good, though, bro. Brady always just got what was needed all the time.
Mahomes never
Mahomes. Yeah. You watch those guys play, they play the right way and they know exactly every single scenario and what they need in the scenario and just to get enough to move the football. It's just these quarterbacks got to learn. They can't just stop fucking heaving the ball up because they have a one-on-one in those situations. Instead, just pick up the fucking 1st down and then you can do whatever you want. Then the playbook gets opened up.
Yeah.
But all right, that's enough on that. Let's get to these games here. Everyone wants to talk football and you know, whatever. We could probably keep going on and talking about these games for a long time, but we got to get to the takes here. So first game on the slate, and I know we got some news here breaking, but we'll get to that when we get to that game here. New England and Chicago, first game on the slate here, 6.5 total and a 38.5 total, 6.5 point spread. Bears are favored at home. Tony, Patriots, Bears coming off a tough game. They're at home. Is this a get right spot here for Chicago?
Right out of the gate, like, man, the Bears at home only -6, 38.5 total. God, it looks like Trap City, but you have to like the Bears. I just can't take New England, but man, that line, why can't it be 7.5 or something? Make me feel better about it. The 6, all these I freaking hate Patriot games because I feel like they should lose. Did they just won last week, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're coming off a win. Who'd they play? Let's see. Who did they beat? Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah, it's shitty Tennessee, but I don't know. I have to like the Bears, but at the same time, it is the Bears have been bad. The Patriots defense is okay. I definitely don't think it's like a slam dunk spot, but I just don't think I can take New England ever. I don't know who they would play where I would like New England. So I'll take the Bears, but I don't have a ton of conviction in that.
Your boy Caleb Williams. Come on, you got to get on board with your boy. That's your man. You got to get on board. My guy's Jaden Daniels.
Disappointing to me.
He has been. What's up with DJ Moore too? Just walking off the field. Did you see that last
All
time?
these
last
guys
week?
are babies. I mean, he's a friggin' baby, and the Bears just look bad. I like them coming into the year. They just look bad. They just look shitty to me.
Yeah, they do, but I think this is a spot where they handle business. I'm kind of with you on the.
They better handle business, or
I think this is a spot they handle business. I'm on the Bears side here, and I don't like Caleb Williams at all. But I feel like this is a spot where they're going to be able to get what they want, and easier spot at home. I think they roll here, so I'm on the Bears side. Let's go, because that's not really a great game here. Let's go to an interesting game here. Bills and Colts, 3.5 point spread, Tony. Bills are on the road. It's a 46.5 total here in this game. I don't really love what I saw from the Colts, but at the same time, I got to think Joe Flacco gives them still a better shot than Anthony Richardson, even though Joe Flacco wasn't good in the last game. That was against Minnesota. It's a tough spot. This game at home, though, Buffalo's been good. It's 3.5 points, though. It feels kind of weird to me. I want to just say Buffalo should be the easy pick here, but 3.5 point spread. Tell me if I'm seeing this right, Tony, that it's just kind of a little weird to me.
So we're going to get a lot of games the rest of the season. We're week 10 now. There's a lot of bad teams. There's a lot of bad teams in football. And we're going to start getting these good teams versus bad teams as we get close to the home stretch and talk about how lopsided some games can be. These are the spots I just physically can't take Indianapolis. I think they stink. Yeah. Michael Pittman got ruled out when I was coming home. Not that he's been banged up anyways, but it's still one less guy in there. I just don't trust. Flacco looked horrible. And these are the spots that happens, though. So we liked Flacco. We were happy he came in for Richardson. They always look good for a minute, these veterans. And then eventually we realized that he sucks 8 years ago, and he still sucks. He's just a veteran. He can read the defense a little bit. But once the defenses start catching up to him again and realize that he sucks and can't move, he looked so bad last week. I just can't imagine the Colts beating Buffalo. I have to take Buffalo in this spot. I think I could play my boy A.D. Mitchell again, even though, like we talked, I think Pierce impacts him. But Pittman being out definitely opens up some playing time, and he's 3,400. So I'd rather like Pierce or somebody be out. But, I mean, you're still down to 3 receivers now. He's got to play more. I think he's a pretty good play. But I'm on Buffalo here for sure. And I think Josh Allen it could crush this week. This is a good spot for him.
He's the guy I'm interested in. Now, it's funny, no Keon Coleman this week for Buffalo. So we got to wait on Cooper. He's questionable. So, hopefully he plays.
Maybe our boy Fowler can play Debo Samuel again this week. His boy, he said Curtis Samuel was like Debo the one week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he loved Debo Samuel, a.k.a. Curtis Samuel. I forgot about that one. Yeah, so maybe he gets put in play. Who knows? But again, I will just keep saying, Josh Allen is just one of those quarterbacks. I do not feel the need to stack. And I know you disagree with me on this, but I think it's just so hard because he does not have that alpha guy. And maybe Cooper will become that alpha guy, but he just spreads the ball around a ton last time. Like last game's a perfect example. No one you would have really played for the Bills really got there. You know what I'm saying? Yep. It just happens so much. So, but I agree with you. I think it's a Buffalo spot, and I think, Josh Allen's going to be heavy in play. I think Jonathan Taylor is actually going to be getting a ton of work in this game too. So I think he's an interesting spend at running back on the other side.
He's going to get the volume for sure, which is important.
Yeah, 13 carries last game, Tony. I don't see that. I see him getting 20, 25 in this spot here. No Pittman at home against the Bills. You got to run the football against the Bills. We've seen some teams have success. I think Jonathan Taylor could have some success. So, big shout out. Like our guy Sean in the chat. Big what was it, 80K? Yeah, 83K. Shout out to him. He had him and like, what was it, 6 other guys, Tony, had like the Tylan Wallace team or something like that. That was
right ahead
that
of
was a crazy team.
Big T in 10th, collecting his men cashes.
No, were you in 10th? I didn't even see you. You were in 10th?
Yeah.
What was the 1v1?
My team was super chalky though. I had like a huge chop, like probably there was probably 40 people that had my team.
So it had to be like Wallace out and someone else.
Yeah, I didn't have Wallace, so that was the big difference. I didn't have him on anything, even though we love the receiver. I just don't think I could have got to him. I just didn't. I mean, let's face it.
That play was super fluky.
Anyways, but still.
That play was super fluky.
That's how you win a lot of money in Showdown, though. We talk about it all year. It's a great team. We loved the passing games. It's stupid for me not to have 1 or 2 share because we talked about some of the bad guys at the bottom. Why not put him in 1 or 2 teams in my 150? So Sean is super sharp too. Like,
yeah, he is.
Great.
Yeah,
dude,
he's a really good
sharp.
DFS
He got
player.
screwed in NASCAR. I'll defend him. 3 different weeks this year. He was in first for 100K at the end of a race, and then he ran bad on crashes in 3 different times. So he deserved a good hit. That dude I love that guy. He's super sharp.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Sean. He's a great guy in the Discord. Big best ball guy too. So we chop it up a few times, but I'm glad he got the hit. I saw that. I was pretty pumped for him. 83K and a sick team too. Cause like Tony said, that's the way you hit big in Showdown. Like, if you're trying to hit big, if you're trying to get those unique winners.
Too. Like those are the teams that aren't that.
I'm surprised 6 people had that team or whatever it was. I'm surprised that many people had that team. I'm surprised at. But yeah, that was awesome. He crushed. All right, let's keep going though. Let's go to the Giants and the Panthers. This game's in Germany, Tony. Oh, this isn't even on the main slate. I forgot about that. We can talk about it real quick. 6.5 point spread. Giants favored. What do we got here, Tony? You like the Giants in this spot?
It's another spot where I'm just not taking Carolina ever. So I actually think this is a pretty good Giants spot, honestly. Like, I think the Giants are a little bit underrated right now. I wish it was main slate too, because I'd love to play Tyron Tracy in this spot. But it's going to be a good showdown slate because Neighbors, Tracy, I mean, these guys are in really good spots against Carolina. So that was one of the reasons I wanted you to talk about it.
And no Slayton either, I think. Yeah. I think he's out. So my boy Jalen Hyatt. Tony, my boy Jalen Hyatt. Can we get a Hyatt one game?
I mean, if our boy West Coast said William Wallace, if William Wallace can do it last night, then Hyatt can. So,
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying one game.
Giants are gonna roll them.
I'm gonna do the thing where his catch prop is probably 1.5, and I'll do the thing where I go under, and then I'll go 50+ yard touchdown for the win. And I'll just combine it all. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's another thing that pissed me off last night. Kolar was such good props, and he only caught 1 ball. That's where like. People are always results oriented, but those are the bets that are just incredible bets. And I don't care that lost. He only got 1 target, but my God, those odds were so good.
I mean, I thought Jermaine Burton's odds were crazy too, and he got chances.
And there was a couple deep balls. He's just a little bit away from, but they're losers. So then when you look at it, it's losers and like.
You can just tell, though, that the chemistry is not there with him and Burrow. The only guy that Burrow truly had, like, really good – Chase, obviously. Like, Chase is his man.
It's easy to have chemistry with that guy.
Did you see that first touchdown where he caught the ball in the middle and then somehow ran between 2 defenders and then outran another guy coming out? That was just insane how he just outran those guys.
He's the best there is. I mean, he's ridiculous in the open field. The
Just get
last
that man the
touchdown was
ball.
the most impressive. That throw Burrow threw on the last one, the lollipop over the two defenders. When they showed the angle from the back angle where you could see where the defenders were, I mean, that throw was insanity.
That was crazy. It was absolutely crazy.
Giants here. Giants are going to roll.
Giants roll here. We got a lot. It feels like we got a lot of games like that where we got some bad teams against
That means we're going to pick some winners.
Yeah, I do feel good about that. Let's go to Chiefs and Broncos here. 7.5 point spread in Kansas City. I feel like it was higher. Was it higher, Tony? Did something I feel like this should be like 9.
I didn't watch the lines all week, but it couldn't have been that much higher. It might have been like 8 or 9 or something. It could have been in there, but it couldn't be double digits. I don't think, with the way the Chiefs have been playing.
Is this a teaser spot right here, Tony? It feels like it might be a teaser spot.
I will, Claire. I said it last week on the Prep Factory too, or one of our shows. These things just keep getting dusted all year. I gave my speech, and then they got dusted again because Carolina beat New Orleans. Every single week, one of these 7.5s have got dusted. Literally every week, one of them. So there still hasn't been a sweep all year of teasers. And Kansas City's a great teaser again. How can Denver beat them? How they can beat them is they have a good defense, and the Chiefs have been severely underperforming at times. That's how it could happen. I just don't see it happening because I think the Chiefs, with Hopkins getting more and more integrated, I think dare I say they're a little underrated, even though they're undefeated. I think people are kind of a little weak on them because of how bad they've looked. I think they're secretly like stronger than people think right now.
I don't think they're underrated at all. I think they're
publicly. Maybe it's
I think they're exactly what they are, which is a really, really fucking good football team that has underperformed offensively this year, but has still been really good. I think that's what you're kind of alluding to, because
like what happens when they start clicking is my point.
Well, then they're just going to start routing some of these teams. You know what I mean? You got to remember, some of these games they won, they were close games, right? You know what I mean? Could have went, either way in a few of these games. And honestly, some of the games were close where they maybe shouldn't have been as close. So, I think that's what you're alluding to. But I don't know. I still think people just view this team as still the best team in football and no change. But again, last year, we shit on their offense, right, Tony? We shit on their offense all year. They got no playmakers, blah, blah, blah. And then they go do what they do. And I think people have just learned from that. I've learned from that. I think people just learn, okay, we're not fucking underestimating this Chiefs team anymore. They're going to always have a chance no matter what happens. Mahomes is going to break his leg, and they're going to put it right back in place, and he's going to walk out onto that field 2 minutes later, and he's going to fucking, run for a touchdown.
It did when he got hurt for a minute.
Dude, when he got hurt, I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, this dude's fucking Iron Man. He's just not, he's not real life. He's not human. He's Iron Man. And he just walks back out there like nothing happened. What'd he say after? He goes, oh, after 2 minutes, it felt a lot better again. It was fine. I was like, you are not human. But yeah, I think, if you're doing the teaser spot, this does seem like a spot where you pull the teaser. But you got your boy, man. I can't believe you're going against your boy again. Come on, you gotta have some fucking faith in this kid.
I almost texted you the picture of it, but explosive plays this year. The only person ahead of him is Lamar. He's second by a mile in explosive plays. He's just been so. I don't want to sit here. I can't do the argument again. I don't have the energy.
So do explosive plays? Do those equal wins?
Oh my! Everything's wins and losses with you today, I guess.
No,
this dude's team sucks.
Dude, did you not see the video that I reposted of Bo Nix missing wide open receivers in the end zone? Do you just look past that? Explosive plays, that's great. What about the plays where they're just wide open, sitting in the end zone, butt naked, and he throws it 10 feet in the air? What about those plays?
It's just by far
nothing.
The worst. God,
it's not the worst take when it's a real fucking thing that I'm watching. I literally sat and watched the game. You guys told me to watch the game. I sat and watched the game. I sat there and I said, this fucking guy just missed a dude butt naked, wide open in the end zone. What do
I
I
mean,
need
he's
to
not
watch?
Dan Marino in the freaking pocket. He does stuff with his feet.
He's
He
got
makes
happy
plays.
feet. He's got happy
I'm sorry,
feet.
Dan Marino, 6 games into his career. Come on, Dan Marino.
Well, he's second in explosive plays, so he's got to be really fucking good.
Hit Davon Vele in the middle of the field, Bo. Come on, Dan Marino.
Listen,
Did
this
you
guy
bring
was so
Vele
bad
to
at
the promised
quarterback
land?
that he turned into a wide receiver, and Cortland Sutton had to throw the touchdown. That's how bad this dude was at quarterback.
Humphrey. Bo, bring little Jordan Humphrey to the victory circle. Come on.
Now, little Jordan Humphrey is funny. Every time I see him out there, I do chuckle a little bit.
Jesus. Come on, bring out Adam Troutman to the promised land, Bo.
This is what I mean, though. Like, everyone just glosses over it.
He's not a pocket passer.
Dude, we shit on Lamar for 6 years because he was inaccurate. No, I'm not letting you get away with this, though. We shit on Lamar, and Lamar was one of the best athletes to ever play the quarterback position. We shit on him because of why? Because he could not play the quarterback position as good as like a normal quarterback, but he was just such a good athlete. He overcame it until the games got really big. I'm not letting you get away with this whole Bo Nix is fine, but he's inaccurate type bullshit. Like, no, he's inaccurate. Call it what it is.
It's fine.
He's a mobile quarterback that makes some big plays down the field, but he's inaccurate as fuck.
I think Bo Nix is good, and you think he sucks. That's where we stand. That's where it's written down. We'll revisit down the road. I
got Jaden Daniels. You got Bo Nix. We'll see who wins the argument.
Jaden Daniels. Okay, I got Jaden Daniels.
Hey, you can have generational quarterback Caleb Williams as well. I'll give you both of them. I love that
the argument now goes to you got Jaden Daniels and I got Bo Nix.
Hey, listen, I touted Jaden Daniels before the season, so go fuck off. I didn't tout Bo Nix, and I didn't tout Caleb Williams, and that's a fact. So you can go
argue those two. That's fine. Argue those. I like Caleb more than Jaden. You can, I like that. That's a fair for me to say I like Bo Nix, and then you're like, well, I got Jaden Daniels is not a fair argument.
Bo Nix is a really good quarterback. You said.
I do. I like him. Doesn't mean I like him more than Jaden Daniels, who I bet to win MVP.
JSU takes the rookie of the year. Big T gets.
He makes the argument that much worse. He just all of a sudden, I got Jaden Daniels. It's like me saying,
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. He was second in explosive plays.
No, I think Kirk Cousins is crushing it, and then JSU's like, well, I got Patrick Mahomes. Oh, God.
You just can't take the fact that I have fucking reasons and you don't agree with them because you watch this dude make a few explosive plays and then you're like, he's great. Like, no, that's not how it
Denver
works.
Should have one win, and I think he's won games by being a playmaker.
Wait, Denver should have one win. You're right. Their defense won them how many games? What was that game where literally they had
Wilson win with this defense?
I'm sorry, what? This defense is a lot better this year.
You loved Russell Wilson last year. They didn't win.
Yeah, I did. Games. I did. I thought he was going to be good in that offense. He was terrible. That's a bad take.
Games.
Well, yeah, but the defense has won a lot of those games. You're not giving the defense any credit.
I love the D, but
you literally started this conversation with the Chiefs saying, well, the way the Chiefs lose is Denver's defense is really good. That's what you said. You said nothing about Bo Nix making explosive plays because to beat the Chiefs,
he's going against the Chiefs. The Chiefs.
You know what though? To beat the Chiefs though, it's not as important as you have a great defense because Mahomes is beating great defenses. You need an explosive offense, an offense that can keep Mahomes off the field. Do they have that?
I'm taking.
That's how you beat Mahomes.
Now. You pissed me off. I'm taking the Broncos. I'm changing.
Yeah, take your shitty Broncos.
Bo Nix is coming for you, Mahomes.
See, Chad, that's how you do it right there. I got him on his fucking horse. That's how you do it. You got to get Big T on his goddamn horse. Tell him to fucking sack up.
This freaking Chiefs defense again last week. So Rashad White scores early in the game, and they just do nothing else on the ground. They still just have given up nothing on the ground all year. It's crazy.
They're so good against the ground.
It's crazy how good their worst week all year was 16th in ground game. That's just crazy.
Yeah, you just teams are not running on this team. I think Tampa Bay did a really good job, but fucking Baker Mayfield again, I'll give him he gets no credit. He did a really good job
He
without
didn't
Mike
win,
Evans.
though. He should have won. He's got to win football game.
I know he should have won. I agree with you. He should have fucking won. But without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, this dude gave his team a chance to be in that fucking game and win that football game. I don't care what anyone says. He played really, really good.
Baker's been good all year.
He's been great all year. All right, let's keep going here. Minnesota and Jacksonville. Another 6.5 point spread here, Tony. Not 7.5, 6.5. Minnesota's favored on the road against Jacksonville here. Jacksonville, team that's been, oh God, Jacksonville's been a rough team. Do we get to, is that official? Do we get Mac Jones? What's happening?
I never believed that Trevor Lawrence is going to be out until I don't see him on the field on Sunday, but that's what it looks like. This fucker always rallies and somehow gets in there.
So do you think he's like super hurt, or do you think they actually want to go to Mac Jones?
I don't think they want to go to Mac Jones. I think he's hurt, but you never know.
If they go to Mac Jones in this game, they lose by probably 25.
Yeah.
Against Minnesota.
These games just look easy. It's going to be tough the rest of the year because there's so many games that just look easy. I don't see how Minnesota doesn't. I mean, Justin Jefferson is just going to smash this defense. So
far, we've talked about 4 6.5 to 7.5 point spreads, Tony. 4 games in that range. I would say that if Mac Jones plays, this is my favorite by far.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't disagree.
Would you agree? Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the 4 we talked about, but
the Giants, the Bears, and Denver.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like this one the best too. Mac Jones sucks. It is in Jacksonville, but they don't have a home field advantage. Minnesota is probably a little bit underrated too. They're a pretty solid team. Yeah, I gotta like Minnesota here. But make no mistake about it, all these 6-point favorites aren't winning. One or two of these dogs are gonna win. It's just a matter of which one. I can't see it being Jacksonville though.
You got to remember too, like all of Jacksonville's like skill players are like all banged up. Even if a bunch of them play, they're like all banged up.
Their
literally,
whole team is questionable.
Yeah, or on IR.
What happens to a lot of these guys? They end up out.
They're really screwed. If Brian Thomas doesn't play,
Tank and ETN both sitting and D'Ernest getting in there. My boy D'Ernest.
Oh yeah, because then we literally have just like he would get all the work. Literally all the way. I hope that happens. I'm with you. I hope that he'll get so many dump offs, dude. Yeah. So many dump offs. All right. Yeah, that was it. That was an easy game. Let's go to another game here. Atlanta in New Orleans, 3.5 point spread. Looks like no Chris Olave in New Orleans for this game, 46.5 total. Atlanta has been rolling. Atlanta's been good. They came through for us last game. Dak obviously got hurt, but they came through for us. Drake London got hurt in that game. It looks like he could play, I think, but I don't know if that's officially confirmed.
He's another big twat. He's such a puss.
Did you play him a lot last week?
I mean, I had him a decent amount. He catches a touchdown and then just rides the bike the rest of the game.
That's why I asked you.
Little headstand too, their little celebration headstand thing, and then he never goes back in.
Hate to see it. Hate to see it, Drake. Come on. You're just mad because of the showdown game. You're still mad at that showdown game.
I'm going to be mad about that game all year because that swung my whole season. I needed to win that thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think you're holding a grudge against old Drake. But
I'm a little upset. I am a little upset with him. I won't lie.
All right. So what about this game here, Tony? You think New Orleans can fight back in this game, or is it all Atlanta?
So, I mean, again, all these road favorites aren't going to freaking win. It's just how the NFL works, and it's going to be bloodbath, but it's another one that you just look at it on paper, and it's like, how? I think it could be another Taysom game, though. People undervalue Taysom so freaking much. This guy is so good, and you get a tight end that gets all the leverage carries around the goal line for 4K. And Atlanta does struggle with the ground game. Taysom's always played good against Atlanta. Kamara's been good all year. So the matchups do present themselves if New Orleans can run on them. I think they could run all over them. I like Atlanta a lot, but they're another team that I like more as an underdog than a favorite always. I just feel like they play better. So 3.5 road dog. I think I could take New Orleans, but the problem is New Orleans might have quit too. Like they're a team. They just lost to Carolina. How am I going to pick a team that lost to Carolina? This game's hard. This is probably a game I should just stay away. And Tank Dell popped up on the injury report too. My God. Houston is getting decimated with stuff like that.
Well, is Nico back?
They were acting like he might, but I don't know if it's this week or next week. He might need one more week too. I don't know. But I don't love the New Orleans game. I guess I'd pick New Orleans, but I don't have a ton of conviction.
I think I like New Orleans in this game. I think New Orleans can keep it close enough. It was interesting, Tony. They had a bunch of injuries. Obviously, Chris Olave went out. Cedric Wilson's out for this game. So last game, and I think this is interesting for the tight end spot specifically, but so Mason Tipton ran the most routes, right? He ran 26 routes. That was 78% of the routes last game. The next guy, Juwan Johnson, he ran 66% of the routes, 22. Foster Moreau and Kamara were next in line. Foster Moreau, how much is Foster Moreau in DFS? He's running like, I mean, I think
the annoying part is he's the same price as Juwan. That's the annoying part.
So I'm just going to say this. I just think these New Orleans tight ends, like one or two of them might get there in this spot. If you like New Orleans, I think you got to like Kamara, and I think you got to like one or two of these cheap guys. Maybe it is Taysom. Maybe it's Taysom. I wouldn't be shocked if like Taysom and Juwan Johnson somehow got there.
Even though they're both tight ends, I mean, they're not necessarily both tight ends. So
right, exactly.
I mean,
and that's
even
why
a world where Juwan's like a receiver and Taysom's a running back. I mean,
this is what I'm saying though. I think their tight ends are playing receiver at this point. Look at how many receivers they're down. I mean, they're down Shaheed. They're down Bub Means. They got fucking MVS as a receiver. Like, what?
Yeah. They got all the dust balls. They got the other St. Brown in there too. They got all the dust balls.
And I don't think they want to play those guys, Tony. Like, no. I don't think they want to play them that much.
Tight ends call.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. We're both on New Orleans at home. Got to take a few dogs here too. You can't take all the favorites.
I am scared of taking New Orleans, but I'm taking them with. I mean, they lost to friggin' Carolina. That hurt my feelings.
They did lose to Carolina. That was a rough game. But again, those are the spots that, you know, that shit happens like that. That's the weird shit that'll happen sometimes. So doesn't shock me, I guess, is more to my point. But all right, let's go to the next game here. Let's talk San Francisco and Tampa Bay. Man, my Tampa Bay Bucks, they fought hard for me, Tony. They really fought hard. I thought they were going to have a chance at one point, but couldn't get it through the finish line. But they covered. At least they covered for us if you took Tampa Bay, which I did. Now they get San Francisco at home. Christian McCaffrey looks like he could be back for this game. Is he coming back? I think, right? So,
yeah, it looked like it. I haven't seen for sure confirmation, but it looked like it.
True Debo Samuel, he looks like he could be good. They got a bunch of questionable guys too in this game, but you know, what do you got here with this Tampa Bay San Francisco?
It might be a freaking bloodbath this week. I mean, it might be an absolute bloodbath this week for the books because. I mean, the public is going to bet all the same sides in all these games, and either it's going to go. Usually, that means the public's going to get massacred because all these games.
They're going to get massacred.
Easy. I mean, San Fran is 6.5 versus Tampa, who's got all these dudes out. San Fran's coming off a bye, right? Getting guys healthy.
Yes.
It just looks like an easy game, but again, these guys they're not all going to just win. So. Tampa's overperformed all year. K. Dotton's been awesome. Baker's been awesome. But, man, they're so shorthanded. Jalen McMillan might miss again. I mean, Sterling Shepard is their number one. How can you possibly take Tampa Bay in this spot? I just don't know how you can do it. But again, like the number's 6.5. Some of these bets you just truly have to just close your eyes and click the button, because if you use any like sense, you can't take all road favorites. If you take all road favorites, you're gonna lose money. It's just a fact. It's a freaking fact. You cannot take all road favorites that are chalky. It just doesn't work like that. But man, it's hard. It's really hard to click Tampa Bay at 6.5. If it was 7.5 or something, I'd be more confident. But I don't know. I like San Francisco. I don't feel good about it because it just feels like a fish play, like all these games. But I like San Francisco.
I wish that Christian McCaffrey wasn't planning on coming back too. Like, I wish we got another like week of George Kittle, because this is a George Kittle smash. I wish he wasn't coming back. I
do like Kittle a ton in this spot. Definitely the best spot.
Yeah, it's just annoying though, because Christian McCaffrey back, he's going to get a bunch of work, obviously. So that kind of sucks. But what are you going to do? And I'm with you. Like it's kind of annoying. I like this Tampa Bay team. They play hard, man. All these guys are out, and they play hard. They don't give up. I'm a big fan, and I didn't like Baker. I thought he was a bad quarterback for years. I was never like a fan of Baker Mayfield. I've become a fan of Baker Mayfield. Like I think he just plays so hard all the time. He doesn't give up. I respect that. Like I respect that. He literally looks like he gives it his all every single time he plays. And, he's been really good this year and last year for that matter. He was really good.
Yeah. Even when he got off the plane for the Rams, he was good. Like he's been pretty, maybe he was just the Cleveland effect, because he was good in college too. The Cleveland effect might have just got him.
He's like one of those guys too, Tony. He's just like a footballer. Like he looks like he just gets out there. Like maybe he's not the best guy in practice. Who knows like what he was doing in Cleveland. Like, but whatever he was doing.
Every guy likes him too. That always says something.
Yeah.
Like all his teammates like him always.
Yeah, not every guy can say that when every guy has something good to say about you. Like, trust me, not everyone.
No one likes Russell Wilson. Everyone makes fun of him. Like
everyone hates Russell Wilson. They hate him. So what was Marshawn Lynch that time? He was like, yeah, I had to I don't even have I had to call his agent or something, like to try, like something like that. Like that's the worst people ever. Like, I'll take Tampa though. Fuck it. I can't take all these road. I gotta take some of these home favorites. And at least I know Baker's gonna play hard.
Better just taking all the home, just closing your eyes and just picking all the home teams as dogs and just hope you win more than you lose. Because if you bet all the road favorites, you're gonna lose money.
Some of these some of these teams are going to outright lose too. Is the thing?
Oh, easily. For sure.
They're going to outright lose, not just cover. You know what I mean? Like it's going to happen. They're not all winning here. So you got to take some shots. All right, let's go to the next game. Steelers and Washington. Pittsburgh, 2.5-point dogs in Washington here, Tony. Two good teams, in my opinion. I think Pittsburgh's really good. We talk about Baltimore and Cincy in that division. I think the Steelers are a good team. They got a good defense. Russell Wilson looks like he's been helping the offense kind of get a little more to it. But Washington, they've just been really fucking good. And I struggle to go against my Washington team, but these are two teams that I both really like. And I like the Steelers when they're like 2.5, 3.5-point dogs. That's when I normally always like the Steelers. So I struggle with this game because I feel like I shouldn't be going against my boy Jaden at all, but I hate going against the Steelers when they're in that range that I hate them as like you talked about this too. The Steelers as a 3.5-point favorite is a rough go in my opinion, but when they're dogs in that 2.5, 3.5 range is when you normally like to take them. What do you see here?
Yeah, I have to like Washington. I'm not a huge Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh, their physicality. I do think eventually it's going to catch up with them, Russ. I think he's played good so far. He's got a good chemistry. Who'd they pick up? I thought they picked up somebody.
They did. He's not going to play, but Marshawn Lattimore. He's got a hamstring injury. They're still
I thought they
saying
picked
he's
up a receiver though too. They didn't. In my head, I was thinking they picked up a receiver.
maybe you thought that because they need a receiver.
I was just
Uh,
thinking like Russ throwing.
yeah, I don't think they did. I think it was Lattimore they picked up.
Oh, Mike Williams.
Did they pick up Mike Williams?
Where'd Mike Williams go?
Oh, they did. Okay. Yeah.
I don't see him in the
totally forgot about that.
projections though. So what is he out?
I don't see him either. Like
That's
at
why I
all.
was confused because I don't see him in the projections. But because I just remembered 2 deep ball throwers with Russ.
Steelers. Okay.
I don't see him in the projections though.
Wait, so the Steelers picked up Mike Williams, not Washington. Oh,
No,
okay. You had me confused. I was thinking Washington.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying. That's why I kept saying I don't think they picked up a receiver. I was thinking Washington in my head.
Yeah, but I don't see Mike Williams in the projections that's what confused me. But
I don't see him in the
I like
pool.
Washington. Washington's the team that just wins games. I just trust Jaden to win. I think Russ is going to regress a little bit. I just like Washington. I feel good about this game too, actually. I like that Brian Robinson got ruled out. I like Eckler in there. I like what they do. They just win football games. I like Washington a lot in this spot.
Yeah, I'm going to lean Washington with you. I was back and forth on it if I was going to go Steelers or Washington, but I got to stay with the train, my Washington train at home too. Got to keep rolling with Jaden. All right, Tennessee and the Chargers. Tony, you've had a really good feel with this Chargers team. They're at home. It's a 7.5 point spread, 38.5 total. What are you doing here with the Chargers? I mean,
these are just the freebies. Like, this is a teaser this is the game that's been beating me all year. The Chargers look like a mortal lock to me in a teaser, 7.5 to 1.5. I can't see them losing. I would put this game with anything you want all weekend. Any game you want to tease, just put it with the Chargers. The Chargers are not losing to Tennessee. They're just not. They're physical. They're going to manhandle Tennessee. This game's easy. I like it with the spread, too. I mean, they're going to win by 20 again. They're freaking going to win by 20 again. This is a perfect matchup. Tennessee might be the worst team in football. Fire up the Chargers, D. Fire up all these dudes. The Chargers are a decent football team. I love it. Next week, my Bengals are going to pound the Chargers, too. I got a good feel for the Chargers. They don't match up good with the Bengals.
I will say that besides the Bengals, I feel like the Chargers are like your other team.
I hate them is the funny thing. I don't like how they play. I just have a good feel. I know their style. I feel good about their style. I know the teams like Tennessee that can't score. I love the Chargers against. You play the Bengals, though, where they're not going to have to run the ball. The Bengals are going to match up perfect with them, and they're going to whoop them.
Yeah, I think when you make a team who has an identity of like being able to run the football and just win those games, you put them up against a team that isn't going to be able to put up points and stuff. It makes it a lot easier.
And the Bengals can stuff the run, too. Like, say whatever you want about their D, but the run D is not their issue.
Hey, 2 games against Henry, Tony, and they're one of the teams, one of few teams who have slowed him down big time. That's for sure.
Like, besides the overtime run in game 1 when he broke loose, when everything was falling, they've shut him down.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Chargers. I think they beat them by 20, so I'm rolling with the Chargers with you. Let's go to a closer game here. Jets and Cardinals here. Cardinals, they've been pretty friggin' good, Tony. Our Cardinals, man. 1.5 point spread. Cardinals are at home against the Jets. Jets, they need wins, Tony. They can't lose any more games. They need to rack up some wins and get this thing going quickly. They don't have much time here. Can they do it against an Arizona team that has played a lot better than what people thought this year?
Yeah, we were on Arizona from the beginning of the year. So the 2 teams I think have the best value right now are the Bengals and the Jets, the 2 teams that have underperformed. I just look at this Jets team. They're just too good not to win some games down the stretch. I think they run them off. You give me those 2 teams at these odds right now, and I'll just bet them against anybody. Like, with the odds. I need the odds, obviously, because their records both suck because they've underperformed. But these freaking guys they got are good. I love the Jets in this spot. it feels bad to say it against our Arizona team who's treated us good, but I cannot see the Jets not winning this football game. And it might be my favorite game of the week. I love how they match up. I can't see them losing. So I freaking all systems go for the Jets here.
I want to have confidence in the Jets. I want to be with you on the confidence train with the Jets. Man, they kill me every time I watch them. They drive me
funny
fucking
how
nuts.
some seasons, like, there's just teams that just every week they fall into the wrong spots.
I don't get it with the Jets. All year I have not gotten it. Probably just wrong with the Jets. Maybe they do suck, even though they have talent. You know, that's possible. Some teams have talent and they can't put it together.
Get the chemistry.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think this is going to be a really close game. I'll go with the Jets with you. I'm not as confident as you in it, but I'll roll with my Jets one more time. Philly and Dallas, last game here on the slate, Tony. Philly going into Dallas, a 7-point spread in this one here. No Dak Prescott. He's out. We'll see when did he go on injured reserve? Yeah, he did go on injured reserve. So they got Cooper Rush starting at quarterback, I think. Tony, what do you think? Can Cooper Rush help them out a little bit here? They were struggling before Dak got hurt.
You got another road team minus 7.5. I can't see Dallas winning. So some of those games we talked about in the early slate that I was like, I think I like them. I probably should, because I like these afternoon road favorites more. Like Philly it's another 7.5 too. So like in the afternoon, you can do Philly teaser with the charge. I'm breaking the streak this week. I'm calling it right now. Philly, let me tell you right now, because I'm breaking the streak. Philly, Chargers. I'm going to put these in. I'm going to put it in live. Philly, Chargers. Who else did I say in here? Chiefs. Was there one more or was that it? That was it. So just a 3-teamer, plus 160. I'm breaking the freaking streak. I'm going to tweet it out too. I'm breaking the teaser streak this week. Those 3 are not losing this week. Finally, we're going to win one this week. We're not putting the damn Giants in it, being there. That's not a teaser spot.
Giants are 6. Though. Yeah, we're going to bet the Giants, but not 6.
Worst teasers. Look at ODB pops in and says Bo. It just
no, he said Chiefs losing. He said Chiefs losing.
No, we're not going back to it again.
Get back to the poker table, ODB. Get back to the poker table. Go ship some money. God damn it.
I'm with you. I'm on the Giants minus 25. They're just not going in my teaser. The worst thing, and everyone should listen to this, do not tease minus 6s. Do not do it. Even though it's tempting to get it down to a pick 'em, do not tease minus 6s. It's terrible.
Guys, I've known Tony a while. When he does this live on air, like, that's when you know. Don't do it. Like, what?
Not tease minus 6s. The only thing worse than teasing minus 6s is when people like tease minus 2s through the 0. The only thing worse than minus 6s are teasing through the 0. Do not ever tease through the damn 0. Oh, God. That's what I was just. Oh, no. No. I didn't even see that.
ODB said this poker table is my personal workbench. Good. I hope that means you're winning.
He's deep in there. How many's left, ODB? Give us an update.
Yeah, what's the chip count? Now he's gonna go quiet on us.
Oh, he'll write back. He might be in a hand or something.
62
left. There we go.
All right. Let's go. Eagles Cowboys feels like a 37. It just feels like a rout. Yeah.
How can the Cowboys not get blown out?
Yeah. Even if Micah comes back, I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but even if he comes back, it's just.
I'm more worried about the offense than the defense. The offense is in tough shape. Chip leader with 62 left, 1.2 million. I see you, ODB. There we go. Represent the factory.
Yeah, all the Saquon. Yeah, I don't know. The only problem with Saquon is if they get up too big too early, then we might just kind of coast after that. But at that point, he might have 3 touchdowns. So, by the way, was that the sickest thing you've ever seen on a football field? Was him hurdling dude backwards?
Yeah, he's a freak with those plays like that.
Someone said John Morant was the most athletic athlete in sports right now. I would say if you don't say Saquon Barkley, you're crazy. He's doing it in pads, like football pad. Like, he's insane.
The argument, I think me and you already argued. This was one of our arguments, I'm pretty sure, where it was the NFL could play NBA, NBA could play NFL, and I'm pretty sure
we did argue that. We did argue that.
Yeah.
Did you see Puka? Did you see Puka? He said, give me a.
And he's a freaking idiot. Like,
yeah.
He's an idiot. Like, I'm sure he's a hooper. Like, I guarantee he's a hooper.
No, he is a hooper.
He's not a hooper like that.
No, he's a hooper. Like, if I think I've seen highlights of him. Like, if he goes to the YMCA, he could be the best player in the Y.
Yeah, he'll crush. He'll crush. I mean, he's a hooper, but he's not an NBA hooper.
Like, he said, and I quote, if I was playing on like the Charlotte Hornets or whatever bad team he gave, you know, I could get a few minutes, but if I was playing on like the Lakers, I'd be the 15th man or something like that. Like,
he's definitely overvaluing himself. And the NBA guys probably couldn't play football.
First of all, you wouldn't be the 15th man because you'd be ahead of Bronny, so you'd be fine there. Like, talent-wise, you'd be ahead of Bronny.
Bronny dust his ass is what I wish.
Oh, I'd take Puka all day, yo. Puka back that dude up in the post. He'd literally flex on him. He'd flex on him. What are you, crazy?
Puka would go down injured. Like one trip in, Puka would be injured.
He'd get injured. All right. That's it. Those are all the games here. We talked about them there, Tony. Hit the like button if you enjoy the free shows. We're going to be back for the Morning Wood. That's Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Me, Big T, the Prez. Talk all DFS for you guys, the main slate, everything like that. Check out Run Pure Sports. RPS15 is still the promo code. 15% off monthly, weekly, annually, whatever you want to do. You can get that 15% off. Use that code RPS15 and hit that thumbs up on the way out. I got an NBA show in about an hour, premium show with DC and Mangone talking hoops for this slate tonight. Tony did a college football show just before this show. So if you're into college football, check that out. That's on this channel here. Tony, final words before we get out of here.
So they said only an hour new records because we got ODB off, and usually that's 20 minutes of ODB and JSU just fighting back and forth.
Why do you always have to bring me into the conversation?
Because it's always me just sitting here watching you two donkeys argue all for 20 minutes about Bo Nix.
I would gladly argue for 20 minutes with you about Bo Nix, but you won't indulge me.
No. Because some arguments, I know what's going to happen. And it's going to be the same thing over and over. And I don't like to say the same thing over and over.
I owned you in the conversation. I brought it to Lamar and the accuracy point, and you had nothing for me except for this man is second in explosive plays. That's all you had to say. That's it.
Bo better than Mahomes, he said. Get it out on Bo better than Mahomes.
God.
Take it down, ODB.
Yeah, go take it down. Go beat all the poker pros and win some money here, and then hopefully it'll adjust for your winnings in football this week. But I will say, ODB, we did own Tony's ass on the goddamn Rams, and we couldn't even talk about it because they're not on this fucking slate. But I will just say,
I'm so pissed about that game too. You had to finish with that game because I freaking am so pissed that you guys won that game.
I had to finish with it because I wanted to say that I think Miami profiles pretty well against the Rams this week. That's a Monday Night Football game.
I can't believe you put Matt Stafford in your top 5. Unbelievable.
As a true quarterback, how do you not put – where do you have him?
He's got a 3-inch cock.
He's won a Super Bowl. He's literally been awesome this year. Played without Puka and Cooper Kupp for how long? What am I, crazy?
He's got a shrimpy.
Did you see that throw he made in overtime?
That was a good throw. I'll give
that
that.
Shrimpy turned into a full-size footlong from Subway, bro. That's what that turned into.
You still love him from the Thanksgiving story when Brady had 9
you don't
touchdowns.
even know.
And you're
I
like,
love him.
Everett was the best player of the slate.
No, you're wrong. I loved him before that. He was my favorite fantasy football, bro. That was the first thing I ever did as a fantasy football guy.
Swallow for you, or is he a spitter?
No, we don't fuck around like that. But I love McNair. I will just say though, I told you this story before. It was the first fantasy football thing I ever did was against all my older cousins and my uncles and shit when I was like 16, and I owned their asses in a high stakes fantasy league that I fucking worked. I had to pay. I put like $500 in, and I owned all their asses. They were pissed off at the end of the year because I drafted Matt Stafford and Calvin fucking Johnson, and they won me the fantasy league. I won like fucking $3K off their asses. They were so mad.
Now you
so
got
mad.
In your top 5 still. You got. I agree with that. You got to stay loyal to your troops. I agree with that. You got to keep that loyalty.
Calvin Johnson's the greatest receiver ever. Matt Stafford, top 5 quarterback in history of fantasy football.
I thought we were going to get the Carson Wentz redemption story last week. He was warming up on the sideline, getting ready for me. He'd have been back in my top 5, baby. If we did that, if that happened, he'd have been right back in there for me.
And then all of a sudden, like that, he was gone. He went from the quick like 1-2 throw to nope, thank you. So yeah, he means be better than Mangone. Was this to me or to you? Or to Beanair? That could have been to Beanair. That could have been to Beanair. So I'll just let it go where it is. But I'll leave this one as we go. I'll just leave that one out there. So, thank you, Beanair. I appreciate you. All right, that's going to do it here for the show. Like I said, hit the like button on your way out. Good luck to ODB in his poker contest. We'll be back, the trio, next week. Until then, for Big T and myself, JSU, let's rump here tonight and on Sunday. Don't forget Morning Wood Show, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Come check us out. We're out of here.